Suzu's here. Alright, you guys, it is Saturday. It is a painting day at the moment. If I can get my paint out of the jar, that would be fantastic. There we go. This bottle's pretty much shot. Gonna have to get another out of my bins here. And no, I didn't clean my palettes. I forgot. Again. Oh, fuck. I didn't... shit. I have to prime a dowel rod tonight. Completely, utterly forgot. Come on. Look, little painty string. I don't have time for you. Or patience for you today. Alright, so we were doing the dark hunter green mixed with black, the straight hunter green. I think we were doing some of the foliage green. You gotta wait a few minutes, Zuzu. I think we were doing that straight. And then... What? What?
You literally can't get started without being interrupted.
No,
Between
I can't.
And P-Butt and... Come on, please.
It's just, it's not allowed.
Go outside?
Come on, you were bugging me. It's just not allowed. Oh, what's this, human? You're trying to do something? No.
Those days. Momo, do you want to come with?
We
Come on,
can't.
Go outside.
We can't
Come on,
allow
go
that.
outside. Come on, we go outside.
Come
Outside
on,
time.
Momo.
Come.
You were bugging unless you just smelled food. Come on, let's go.
Come on.
Come on, lazy bones. Momo, sun.
Go outside, sun.
Grass.
Lay in the sun. Come.
Come on.
Grass. Come.
Come on.
Come on. There
Come
we
on,
go.
lazy bones.
Finally got it in your head, huh?
He's like, huh? Any other time, that dog's like, outside? Outside? Not 10 minutes before I went live, he's like, outside? And I'm like, no, you just went outside. Alright. Anyhow, we're back to working on our current acrylic painting project. Which is our kind of line art meets impressionism plus some abstractness going on here. Sorry if there's like whirring or humming noises in the background, mechanical noises. It's hot in here. I've got a fan running. Hopefully it's not doing any wind noise over the microphone. If it is, I will try to reposition things. But hopefully it's not. Yeah, no, I was trying to get video editing done and kind of completely fucking forgot. That, I needed to clean the other palettes, but it's good that I didn't, because now I can color reference them. Excuse me, and try to match my colors from last week. I don't think this is the same brush I was using last week, though. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's not. Right, well, our trees don't all have to be completely identical here. Yes, let's tilt the plate with all of the liquid paint on it so that all of the colors run together. Good job. Okay. Right, so we kind of left off working on these guys. I forgot I needed to pay attention who was a background tree and who wasn't. I think you're a more forward facing, or like a more forward placed rather. So one of these days I'll stop tilting this thing when I've got oodles of wet paint colors on it. Maybe. We all like to dream, right? Ugh, allergies are real. I was outside earlier with the puppers and I could just feel my face getting more and more inflamed today, and I have no idea what's sparking it. But my goodness. Oh, stop tilting it, damn it. Child, stop. So I hope everybody's having a good Saturday thus far. We have started a little bit early today. Not tremendously so, but you know, a little bit. Alright, let's see. We'll put you in this position. You worked into here. Now, we might lose a little bit of visibility on him as this color starts to dry, and that's okay. It's gonna happen. Not a huge deal. We will get his visibility back as we get our other colors put in here. And we can kind of see him. Can kind of see the ghost of the other trees back in there too. Just a little bit. And we'll get this all put into here. I'm probably gonna have to mix a little bit more of this color. Just a little bit. So this guy, we kind of want sitting in front of this tree, but we're gonna have another one that's gonna sit in front of this one and that one. gonna get a little bit more of our super dark hunter green mixed together for how we were building this guy up here. Need a little bit more water just to help get everybody kind of blended together here. Kind of think maybe one more scoop of that. Alright. There we go. You can kind of just barely see me on the edge of the screen there. Alright, good enough, good enough. Alright, and we've got, what did we say? I think this guy. He seems a little bit lighter. That could just be because our paint is still a bit wet here. It's alright, it'll all blend in. It'll just take a little bit of time for us to work through this guy, that's all. Okay. It's gonna be a snuffly stream. I already took some allergy medicine. This is the result of taking that allergy medicine. I'm actually almost out. Like, barely have enough to get through today. I was actually trying to back off of it a little bit. Alright. A little bit more flow to it. Just a little. Yeah, so hope everyone's enjoying their Saturday. It's a nice Saturday here, at least. Starting to get a little warm though. Although last night it had gone down, I think, to the upper 40s, which was kind of surprising. Wasn't really expecting it to get quite that chilly. We tried to go see the Northern Lights, and we had to walk down to check on my dad's grave, so my mom hasn't been up to going down there because she says it upsets her. So we went down to check on things, and since there was no it was the only spot in town that had the least amount of light. I mean, there was solar lights and stuff down there that people had, like, on the graves and things, but it was like the darkest spot in town that we could get to easily, but we couldn't see anything. Other people were seeing shit, and I'm like, well, what the hell? And then they're like, oh, well, you have to take a photo with your phone to see it. Well, I don't have a phone. for myself. I've got a Kindle. My Kindle camera was like, yeah, no, we don't see shit. I was like, okay. Unless we were just too late trying to see it. But the one weather guy was like, yeah, between like 10 and 4 a.m. And so we went out at 10, but people were saying they were seeing it at like 9. And people south of us were seeing it. I'm like, why can't we see shit? I don't know what that was about, but we never were able to see anything. Okay. A little bit of our base hunter green here. Ugh. Okay, so this guy. Let's kind of work our colors in here. We'll probably have to mix a bit more of this guy, and that's fine. Or prep a bit more of this guy. Didn't really mix this one. This was a straight color. Been so busy the past few days, I haven't been able to get on the treadmill. It's kind of irking me. I used to try to do it in the morning, but I'm gonna have to either start getting the fuck up earlier or I'm gonna have to start doing it at night before I go to bed. Because I just don't have time in the morning now. Because we have guinea pig spot cleaning and handling that we're doing now in the morning. Which, you know, it takes about a half an hour to spot clean the cage, and even when we're doing a full clean it takes about a half hour. So my mom wants to hold the pigs, so we have to individually scoop them up in a little holdy bucket because they're still a little too flighty for us to handle them normally. Alright, who's our other tree here? You are. Because the one tried to climb the wall of the cage and jump out on us when we were trying to capture them for guinea pig handling time. They were so freaked out. I'm like, well, that's not good. And then we couldn't even really hold them because they were in such flight mode. So we have a little, like, tiny, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 inch tall bucket. Maybe it's not quite 6 inches. A little bit taller than 3 or 4. That, we kind of scoop them up into. What is the noise? Who is being bad?
P-Butt's being a shit.
P-Butt. No. No. Sir? I don't want to hear it.
I don't care.
I don't know what you're trying to get into, but stop it. He's mad because he can't get into the guinea pig hay because we have it under lock and key now. So whenever we're cleaning and feeding pigs, he's right there trying to sneak some out of the containers or waiting for something to fall out of the containers that we didn't notice. And then when I bring some grass in from outside as a treat, he's all over me trying to get that grass. We've tried to plant some cat grass, but either there weren't very many seeds in the pack or not all of them sprouted. We have to get more. And we might have to order that. Because I'd like to have some on hand, because I think the guinea pigs can eat the cat grass too. It's just like wheatgrass or whatever. Because that's how we're becoming friends, is through the fresh grass. I've got them taking that from my hands now. It's a struggle, and it still takes a few minutes, but we have been able to make a little bit of progress with that. A little bit. So I'm kind of letting our branches come off the side here. Apparently today Peabut is going to serenade everyone, so I'm not sure if you can hear him. I do have my mic turned up so that people can hear me a little bit better, because my voice tends to be a little bit quiet. So you might be hearing him a little bit more distinguishable. And I'm sure as shit expecting the mother-in-law to beep when she gets back, so there will be that kind of loud as well. So don't be surprised. All that color we mixed is drying. I'm not that terribly surprised. We'll work on getting our branches put in, and I'm okay with them dropping off the side. I'm trying to do a little bit on the sides because you never know if somebody's gonna display it not framed. Framing's expensive. I get it. So if you can display something without framing it, all the better. Okay, so then I think we did our foliage green, which our lime has just totally taken over here. Okay. I think we need a little bit more water into that. Okay, let's give that a try. And we'll start to get this guy kind of laid in here. Oh, Hippopotamus. What is the matter with you today? If you're that bored, go play with Little. She was looking for someone to play with. He just has these moments where he just wants to meow at the wall. And we don't know why. And then he'll start trying to climb the walls. And then he'll dig at the walls. We haven't heard any mice, so I don't think that's it. But he'll also go in the bathroom and meow at the sides of the shower. Like the wall of the shower, and then he'll start digging at that. I'm like, buddy. He's actually gotten himself locked into the bathroom a couple of times, fucking around. Like, digging at the doors. Hello, Chad. I think that's Chad. We are acrylic painting some trees here. We have our inspiration photo in the bottom corner. Hope you are having a good day. And thank you for stopping in. Do appreciate it. We are painting on, I think we're on an 11 by 14 canvas. I lost the wrapper that had the sizing on it before I opened it. Like it was a multi-pack. I'm pretty sure it was 11 by 14. And we're kind of doing line art, impressionism, kind of abstract, all rolled into one here. I'm just kind of seeing where it's going to take us. On Sundays, we needle felt as well as Monday. And we're currently following along with a Bob Ross tutorial while needle felting. But that'll be tomorrow. So, do you dabble in anything? Do you paint? Do you do marker, pencil, embroidery, digital art, mosaic tiles, pottery? Do you have a jam? A wheelhouse? Anything you would like to do? I've been curious about pottery. I know it'd be very messy and probably expensive, but I would like to dabble and learn a little bit about that. I don't have room for a kiln though. Probably couldn't afford a kiln either. I also would like to try embroidery. Maybe someday we'll try the embroidery. It's a lot of stitches to remember though. I don't know if I would remember them all. Right now we're just kind of laying in our different shade layers on our middle trees here before we move on to the ones in front of them. While the cat meows in the background and the husband is playing Hades. Or Hades 2, something like that. I don't know. He's clicking. That's gonna be him. We're in the same room, and my microphone loves picking up everything he does, even though it's not facing him, which is hilarious because his microphone doesn't pick me up as loud. So we've got that going on. Toying with going back to Planet Zoo on Saturdays, but we'll see. I don't know yet. Maybe once a month we can do a Planet Zoo Saturday night. Kind of depends on how busy we are, really. We already do zoo on Friday. Oops, sorry, tapped the microphone. But I also really want to finish one of the zoos the husband and I were building against each other in. We'll see. I gotta think about that. We don't have stream avatars running today, and I do apologize. We don't run it on art days. Usually just run that on gaming days. A lot of the times I am taking the art and needle felting live streams and cutting them down. Oh my goodness, Peabot, what is the matter? Meow, come here. I don't even know where you are. You're meowing out the window that's shut. This cat. Meow. A lot of times I take the live streams and cut them down into time lapses that we will put on the YouTube channel. And we have an archive list of most of the live streams over there. Same name as here. And mostly everything's on a corresponding playlist. So we've got prior playthroughs of Coral Island, zoo series that we're building, past painting projects that we've done on stream, past needle felting projects. All that kind of stuff. So we are actually using acrylic craft paint right now. The brand I use I don't think exists anymore because this is old paint that I've had laying around for a while. Probably be like comparable to Apple Barrel. Apple Barrel might be a little bit better. I used to like using Apple Barrel quite a bit, but when we first moved down here, I couldn't get it. So I had to go with the next closest thing, and now this brand doesn't exist anymore. Or at least not in name, it doesn't exist anymore. I believe Hobby Lobby, I read, bought them out. Now, I think I mixed a little bit of our foliage green here, kind of like our army green, with our lime color, I think. Last week was a long time ago for my brain. just to take it a step lighter, and then we did like final limey highlights on everything. Oh, this cat is a trial of patience today. Streaming with cats, everybody. Streaming with cats. At least they're not jumping up in the middle of everything. I have a no cats on desk policy, so we avoid any potential disasters. Because sometimes we have some dangerous things up here, like we'll have hot glue guns or needles for when we're needle felting and stuff. Or, you know, wet paint. So we've done pretty good at trying to discourage the random jumping up on the desk at times. Trees are all sorts of crooked. That's okay. What's Bob tell us? It's better that trees aren't straight like telephone poles. They're not normally that way. Uh-oh, phone call. Do I need to mute?
Yes.
Hang on, let me mute here for 1 second, real super quick.
You're just clarifying what you need for bread.
Alright, sorry about that. You all didn't need to hear that conversation. And I didn't know who it was going to be, so. Sometimes our neighbor calls us because she needs help with stuff. I'm trying to make sure that we've got it so it looks like this tree is in front of his friends here. Kind of getting that point across. Kind of, sort of. Well, these trees might look a little bit different than the other ones that have already been lightened because we did those guys last week. I think when we finish this guy, we might do a gouache painting for our Happy Trees project. That sounds like an interesting idea. Although, I've also been seeing somebody on, what was it, Instagram, doing these like 3D watercolor paintings, I guess they are, where they've been sketching the whole thing out and then cutting it apart, like different sections of it, with an X-Acto knife. He is full of piss and vinegar today.
Yes, he is.
Started digging at the glass window. These are thin windows, Mr. Cat. You can't do that. They're not double insulated pane, whatever. It is thin old glass. You can't be scratching that. where they've been like sketching out their scene and then cutting it into layers and then using foam mounting tape to like raise up each layer. And I wonder how that would look. With like a Bob Ross painting. Like just a small guy. If we can pull that off with gouache or even acrylics. I've not tried it, but I am intrigued to attempt it one of these days. Just to see how that would come out. And I do apologize for stopping a little bit early on Planet Zoo yesterday, but I did have some things I had to go deal with. And I figured we were in a pretty good spot because I can get lost in doing landscape pretty easily. And we still had to finish up the vet that I forgot to put in. So we had to, it was gonna get more involved, and I didn't want to lose track of time because I had found a fairly decent pause point there. That VOD will be going up on the YouTube channel later tonight. I accidentally put it live earlier this afternoon. I was like, oh shit, no. No, too soon, too soon. So I quick pulled it back down, so if you did get a notification about that, sorry. I hit save before I realized I had hit make it public instead of schedule. My bad. That hasn't been up on Twitch long enough, or you can just watch it here, that's also possible. So I think next Friday we'll be done that Ibex exhibit, and we'll be able to spin our random wheel again. Let's see what we get. I'm toying with starting a new zoo, but I don't know yet. I gotta think about that. We've had Streamland Park for quite a while. Kind of feel like if we do start a new one, it would probably go to just YouTube, maybe? I don't know. That would mean more video editing, though. And I'm already still super behind on that from Christmas. We're trying to get the last speed felt done that I owe you. Plus we're gonna have this next speed felt that we're gonna have to do from the one that we're working on, because we're almost done that one. I'm not sure. I think we might be finishing that one this weekend, which is why I was like, oh crap, I have to get a dowel rod prepped, and I forgot about it. I mean, not a huge deal. If it comes to it, we can prep it on stream. It's just faster if I manage to get that done beforehand. Maybe we didn't do just the lime green. Maybe it was just that toned down a little bit, because now that I'm looking at it, it looks pretty close to the other guys. Yeah, we'll just go with that. That's fine. Okay. So now I'm gonna need to revive our color here, at least what's still wet of it. Not much. We're gonna have to mix more, I think. Meow. What? Are you just gonna be trouble today? What are you doing? Where are you? It sounded like you were messing with something you shouldn't have been. Oh, you're under my desk now. Hi. Meow. Please don't disconnect any of my wires. Thank you. He was rubbing his head on stuff. I have like an old tiny like side table that was kind of shot to shit that we cut the legs off of, that I use as a footrest underneath of my desk. It's still way too thick, and I could feel him moving it. Like, what are you doing down there, sir? Probably all of the things you shouldn't be. Alright, I'm just using an old food storage container lid for our palette. You can use ceramic plates from, or hell, even plastic plates from a Dollar Tree or wherever. Old food storage containers that you don't need anymore, the container cracked, whatever. I've also seen some people take plastic wrap and wrap like a piece of cardboard, and then they can just pull the, like, tape it in place, and then they can just pull it off the cardboard and throw it out. Some people use palette paper. If you're gonna go the paper plate route, I would try to get one that's got a little bit of a coating on it, just so that your paint doesn't soak right through and create a larger mess. Is the outside cat out there? 'Cause he's like being extra feisty. Meow. This cat. Peabut, you're usually napping now. What's going on, buddy? Meow. Like I said, streaming with cats gets to the point where you just can't fight it. At least not with that one. Sometimes it's just easier to join in. Striped cat crazy. So, sorry for the snuffles. Like I said, it's gonna be a snuffly day. This is me with allergy medicine. It's not gonna get any better than this today. I have to get more allergy medicine in the next couple of days because I am pretty much out. I realized a little bit ago I thought I had more than I did. Morale? What? What morale? What is the matter? Talk to me. If you're not going to be quiet, then just straight up talk to me. What's going on? Huh? You're not going outside. You're not an outside kitty. That's not gonna happen. I can tell you that much. Mr. Cat. You act all tough, but you would lose your shit if you went outside. Why don't you, like, watch the birds in the bird feeder? So you actually have something to meow about. You can see them from the kitchen. He's probably mad because I think Little's got the prime bird feeder watching spot right now, but he keeps jumping up and looking out the window on our porch. So I'm not really sure what's got him all riled up right now. Probably never will. Because that cat just does his own thing. So when we're done this stand of trees, we've got another stand of trees that we still need to do. On the other side here, where my palette is currently sitting, my paint plate. And this paint cleans up pretty good off of this palette. Just need to put, sometimes you need to put a little bit of water on it. Just kind of let the water sit for a couple of minutes. Not very long. You get like a toothpick or something and just scratch it and it'll come up. Or if it's thick enough, you can just get your nail or again a toothpick or something underneath of the edge of the paint puddles that have dried. And it has to be thick enough, but if it's thick enough, it should peel up like a window cling. I know I'm using a tiny brush here, but it's getting the job done with the lines that we're looking for. I didn't really want to go large brush on this. It just didn't quite seem worth it. Now the paint that I use, you're gonna see like glompy bits in it. That's because it's older paint. I haven't bought fresh paint in a couple of years. And that can happen with the acrylic craft paints after a while. But the acrylic craft paint was more in my budget. And I like it a little bit better than the thick, like artist tubes, I guess we'll call them. This has a better hand feel to me. And I'm just more used to working with this stuff. And some of the tube paint kind of has like a glossy finish to it. And I don't like that. Because my eyes are a bit light sensitive. And the glare makes it hard for me to see what I'm doing. And these craft paints, they dry pretty matte. So I kind of prefer them just for being a little bit easier on the eyes. That way I'm not trying to squint my way through all day. So this is much easier. Now I do add a little bit of water to mine, and I know that's like, oh, it's a cardinal sin, you're not supposed to add water to acrylic paint. Fuck it. It's too thin for, I mean, it's too thick because it's older paint. And I'm looking for a certain consistency. So therefore, I need to add a little bit of water to it. Give me one more second. Today is just a day where interruptions are just gonna happen. Like, what the fuck? Why? The mother-in-law will be leaving this week, so we'll probably have less interruptions when she goes back to traveling with her sister. Well, at least we'll have less mother-in-law interruptions. We'll put it that way. Alright, you can kind of see our forest coming to life here. Still seems a little washed out there. Just a little bit. Like, it still feels like there's a little bit of a glare. That might be me though, like that might be a camera me, because I had tried to brighten the camera because it was so dark in our corner here that I had tried to brighten things up a bit. Because my lights aren't the greatest. I've heard good things about a couple different Elgato lights. I don't know how much they were. I know how much the camera was we got from them, so it's gonna be a while before I can get a light from them, and I'm gonna have to get some kind of rig to put it on. Unless it'll go on the rig I have. Probably wouldn't, because the rig I have isn't really for that. It's for a ring light. But the ring light I got was on clearance, so. And that ring light I have to have on rainbow colors, or else it makes a horrendous high-pitched buzzing noise. Which I don't understand, because it's an LED ring light, and I'm like, why are you making noises like you're fluorescent? Like, what? What is this sorcery? Make it make sense. This might have been the brush that we had to super glue back together. because it doesn't feel jiggly. Alright, rinsed out our brushy boo here. And we'll start to get some water down for our straight green here with no color mix. You're also going to see some pink gloppies from the palette that are coming up since I'm back in that same spot here. That's going to happen. Just because of the type of paint I'm using. And the palette we're on. Alright, if you think your brush is a little too gloopy, you can always rinse before you get started. Just wanted to clean up that ferrule there. Okay. This might need to be, let's see how that does us. Looks a little liquidy, so get our next layer of green in here. Kitty, what are you doing down there? This might be a different cat. I thought I had saw somebody walk by out of the corner of my eye. And then when I looked again, I didn't see them. So then I thought, oh no, I'm seeing things. Maybe it was a shadow. No, no, I saw them. Everybody's just getting into all kinds of trouble today. Except for the main troublemaking cat, which is concerning to me. He's the kind of cat that's like, go big or go home. All right. So we're just gonna keep on getting our little forest put in here from our inspo photo. It's not gonna be exactly the same, because number one, I'm not that good. And number two, we want to make it ours a little bit, so because I kept racking my brain trying to do a more realistic version of that, and it just wasn't working out. But this isn't doing too bad. Have to make sure I'm not putting my hand in wet paint here. It's alright if I do, I just want to make sure I wipe it off before I put my arm back in something else. Like, we've We've been covered in many shades of paint. I'll have it on my face and don't even know how the fuck it got there. I think we're going to need either more water here, or we're going to need to get a little bit more paint prepped to get the other tree. We've got one more to go after this guy. We're having pizza for dinner, and we got a different bread flour that I wanted to try. It wasn't the same one that I've seen a lot of people talk about, like a specific King Arthur one that's like 00. Our Walmart didn't have it, or, I mean, they just had regular King Arthur bread flour, and I don't know if it's the same one. But I didn't see anything that said 00. Like, it already felt like it was a slightly different density when I put it in compared to like the Great Value bread flour. So we'll see. See how it comes out later this evening. And I will let you guys know tomorrow. Alright, so we are moving right along here with our forest. Had a feeling that was gonna happen. As soon as we started getting into the more glompy section, I'm like, don't you come off that brush. Sure enough. Sure enough. Alright. Try to get this in. So these paints are definitely cheaper than like Artist 2 paints, for sure. Like under $1 compared to like $6 a tube. So can definitely stretch my budget a bit more with these guys and get pre-mixed colors. Excuse me. Which takes me a little bit less time to, you know, stop and mix and try to mix enough. But I also know there's some people that are like, oh no, mix every single color except for like your absolute basics. And I'm just like, okay, but I don't got time for that. I will mix some colors if I just want to get a slightly different shade. or if I'm trying to tie a couple of shades together that aren't going to make too much of a muddy mess. And if you want to mix all of your colors, that's great. You do it. It's just, I don't always have time for that. One of these days we might actually get a color wheel. I don't own one. I mean, I could probably just look one up, but then you have to deal with, you know, monitor differences. And all that jazz, so probably should just have a hard copy one. And just be done with it. Alright. So we'll get that one. Okay. So that shade's in. Quite a forest going there. Okay. Next up we need some more of our foliage green. So yeah, like this was our dried puddle, and just putting some water down on it, it's like melting. So cleanup's not that bad on it, I just forget. And then like 2 minutes before I go live, I'm like, ah fuck, I never did the thing. Like, I still need to clean up our gouache palette from the last time we used that. A little more hesitant to clean up the gouache palette though, because I can reactivate that, but I don't think I'll be reusing any of those specific colors. Okay. This is our foliage green. That's what they're calling it. It's kind of like an army green. Like, not quite an olive, but close. Pretty close. So hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. What's everybody up to this weekend? Hope you guys are doing fun stuff. Concert season's starting. Season of doing things outside. Going to fairs and festivals and craft shows and farmers markets and vacations, all of the things. People going camping. all that good stuff. Barbecues, cookouts, pool time, river time. I kind of want to make some stepping stones for outside, but we don't have a proper garden area to put them, so and that will have to wait. See if we do. I almost kind of want to go hunting through like the junk stores and the thrift stores and stuff and see what they have for plates and cups and things to smash to make some mosaic stuff. But I don't really have the room for all that right now. Future project, perhaps. If we ever have room to do a proper patio, I can do like a flamingo tile floor or something for it. I think I found my tile snips, although I don't have the hand strength to use them. I've seen other people use them and I'm like, but my tile snips don't do that. Unless I don't have the right ones, which is possible. It's possible I got glass snips instead of tile snips. Entirely possible. See, our forest is taking shape here. Our grove of tree friends. See, I told you guys they were in there somewhere. Just couldn't see them that well because of how dark everything was. But they're coming out of hiding slowly. They're slowly coming out of the woods, shall we say. All right. All these guys worked into here. And we have another bank of trees that we still have to put in on the other side. So we might have to clean up one of our palette friends here. So I need to see a larger version of our photo. that I can get a good look at here. See what that tree is on the other side. What type of trees they are on the other side. It's a miracle she didn't beep.
I was trying to rush.
Mother-in-law has a bad habit of whenever she comes back just beeping. Drives me crazy. I'm like, why? I don't like being startled like that. Number one. And number two, it's entirely unnecessary when we hear and see your car pull in. Like, why? So there'll probably be some noise in the background. That I do apologize for. I can't help that. She has no volume control at all. So she will probably be loud re-entering. And the doorway to the kitchen and our pantry is right behind me, and that's where she's gonna be dropping stuff off, more than likely. So hopefully it won't be too bad. Though I don't know what they're doing because they're making a bunch of noise on the porch. Oh, right, cat litter. That's what that thumping was. Alright, so we'll get a little bit more paint here worked in. On our big guy. He's got a bushy bottom. Bushy bottom tree. Kinda, sorta. Plenty of places for our forest friends to hide in. Okay. Alright, so we'll get that worked into there. Okay. So we've got one more color to go on those three. And then we can see about our other grove here. I do need to blow my nose 1 second. I'm sorry, give me 1 minute. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. And we'll probably have to clear a space on one of our other palettes here. So we need some of our lime. Although honestly, we probably could have just mixed it in over there. Alright. So I haven't changed out our little water cup here recently. Figured we'd finish with this grove of trees. Before we start worrying about that. Alright, that's probably pretty good. Just need a little bit more water. Alright. That should be pretty good. Okay. I'm gonna clean my brush off here. Just make sure we don't have any little stringy guys in there. Okay. Alright. Start to get our top color laid into here. As best as we can. There are no bob trees, but we are trying to do this a specific way this time, so they're not gonna be quite the same as Bob's trees. It just kind of smushes them all in there. And ours are quite a bit different. Alrighty. Kinda like these little detail-y brushed guys here. Now, when I did get them, a couple of the ferrules are a little loose. They are cheaper. It was a cheaper set. They were on clearance or whatever, or just on sale. If they'd been more expensive, I would have been mad about that, but a little super glue on there fixed it. I've got one or two other brushes that I really like that the ferrule was loose that I just kind of painter's taped back together temporarily. I didn't think it would hold that long until I could get it properly glued back on there, but the painter's tape is still holding, so I'm like, okay. Sure. We'll keep rolling with it. As long as it still wants to cooperate. Why not? Now I might hit these guys up with just a little bit of watered down regular unaltered lime color, just to change their color a little bit and bring them to the front a little bit more. To kind of give them a little bit of a standout here. I haven't decided yet. I have to see what this looks like once we get our other colors all in here. Alrighty. Okay, so we might, I don't know. This little guy on the end has like hardly, I think his colors blended. I think we did all the colors while they were still wet, and he kind of looks forgotten about. He looks sad. There we go. They look left out. Oh, now the other phone's gonna ring. What is going on today? Why?
Hello?
All of the phone calls today.
Oh, sorry. Hang on. Yeah. Schmidt, sleep. Let me check.
All of the phone calls. That was from my mom, though. This place is like Grand Central Station today. All of the noises.
Okay, we'll do.
Everything. Who was that?
It was your brother trying to call your mom.
Odd time of day for him to call. Was she asleep?
Yeah.
Surprised he wasn't off being busy today. Although I don't know if my aunt's home, so he might not have anybody to be busy with. Especially if his girlfriend's working. Alright, so we'll get these guys kind of flicked into here. Okay, so that got a little bright and a little carried away there. Didn't mean for that to be quite so thick. That's alright then. Okay, so I think those few in the front, we might actually come back and hit up with a little bit of just regular lime here. This is just water I'm mixing it into. It's a little too thick. So we are using acrylic paint on an 11 by 14 canvas. And it's nothing special acrylic paint wise, it's literally craft paint. Fairly inexpensive craft paint. Think like Apple Barrel or folk art and Americana to me are like more bougie craft paint. They're a little bit more expensive. Now this stuff is thinner, it's not as opaque as like your artist tube colors would be. So you might have to do a couple of coats if that's going to annoy you, then you might want to go with like artist tube colors. This is just that straight lime color without any other mix-ins. Just want to lighten our front trees up just a little bit more. Where we can. I've tried doing digital art, I'm not very good at it, I don't really understand it. Husband's tried to help teach me it a little bit. I might try again, but I like getting my hands dirty. It's a little bit easier for me if I actually have it to touch it. Who else was our front trees? You were a front tree. He's better at the digital art stuff. I just want a little bit of separation here. Just to pull these guys forward. Just a little bit. It's probably gonna blend in everybody else a bit here, but at least that way it won't look too out of place. Like, I also don't want the tree to be entirely bright yellow either. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So. What's everybody up to? What is your favorite hobby. What floats your boat? And if you do art, what's your favorite medium to work with? I have trouble picking an absolute favorite. I like to jump around. There's times where I like working with tissue paper, there's times where I like working with needle felting, there's times I like working with painting. I think needle felting is probably a little bit easier, because then I don't have to worry about my paint drying too fast or too slow on me. And if you have enough of your fluff to finish all the things you want to do on your project, it's a little bit more portable. Don't have to worry about paint drying or smudging or making a mess and stuff, and then dealing with paint water if you're out in the wilds. Or splashing your paint water everywhere. Alright, I think we need some fresh paint water here. You're gonna go over that way. I've got a cup that I am putting my dirty paint water in, which is sometimes just our straight up water cup. It's just like the bottom of a water bottle cut off. It's got little ridges in there I can clean the brushes on, built in, so that's great. And then when it gets too ucky, I can throw it to wherever it needs to go, and we can start over with a fresh one. Alright. I need to get a look at our inspirational photo. Okay. So, we do have... I forgot about those guys. Okay, we have some more trees back in here, but they're kind of like pushed back a little bit further. So this was our palette from last week. I'm gonna grab one of my big, well, do I just want to grab another plate? Because then this is going to have flecks of stuff everywhere that I don't want getting into our current project. Yeah. Let me do that. I'll just have to do a mass palette cleaning. Give me 1 second to grab a different plate. Nothing. Brain? We're gonna have words, brain. Okay, so I don't really want to take the time to clean a palette right now, so we're just going to use a paper plate for now. Okay. I am actually going to need another color, another bottle of black. That's purple. That's not black. What color are you? Black brown. Getting closer. I know I have some. I'll have to go with this one. Oof. Come on, Jort. Close, please. Well, that's as close as that's gonna get right now with the angle I'm at. Oh. That's not. Okay, it's just the way it settled in the bottle. Alright. I thought the paint had dried up in the tube. I was like, oh, wait, that's not gonna work. What side of the towel were we working with here? That's a good question. I think we were on... Well, we're on that side now. Okay. So we've got another little stand of trees in here. I wish I had remembered that. So my other bottle of black, I'm pretty sure, is just completely empty now. Got some decent mileage. Oh no, there's still a little bit in there. Okay, cool. Got some bark brown. We'll use that as our background here. For these guys. At least it's not trying to storm today. That's a plus. Now this isn't the best surface to be mixing this paint on, this particular plate, but my ceramic plates were also dirty. It was a little bit of a surprise. I didn't think they were. Okay, I'm just trying to mix enough of this to get us through this particular part. And that got a little too black there. Bark brown kind of feels more like melted chocolate, like melted milk chocolate, than it does like a tree to me. Okay. Alright, this will have to do. It still feels kind of thick though. Alright, that's a little better. Okay, so we've got some trees sitting back. In here. They're kind of all on top of each other. But they're all pretty close. So everybody's just gonna have to get cozy with one another in here. Okay. Got some of these guys. And just trying to get some of our shadowing done in here. Be as gentle as I can so I don't push down too hard. Sometimes brush pressure is the hardest thing to get a handle on. I want small little bits here because we are way back a bit further. So hope everybody's doing all right and that your week went pretty smoothly. If it didn't, I'm sorry, I've been there. I've had some weeks that are absolute shit. I know it doesn't seem like it, but it'll get better. Hang in there. I've had years that were absolute shit. Hang in there. We'll get through it together. I promise. Alright. So I know we're like getting close to the trunk of that other tree, and that's okay. We can get a little close to it. These guys are going to be overlapping and quite good friends here by the time we're done. These trees look pretty similar back in here. They're probably slightly different trees, but I do see one where the branches are kind of pointing in a different direction, but that's okay, because we don't need to be following our inspo photo that closely, and we can change it to something that will fit us a bit better. So it's kind of hard to see the tree branches coming in on the darker section down here. Just because of how it's shaped. So I'm just kind of doing the same thing that we were doing up at the top. And I do have this pretty watered down here. Like, I don't have it dripping. But it's pretty watered down. So it's going to be a little bit thinner. Going to be a little bit harder to see. And that's okay. You can see that this is a different paint than what's on our mountain in the background, because the mountain in the background still has some shiny bits from the artist tube that we used. That's a little too thick. Like, some of our water that I've been mixing into here is like kind of seeping into our plate a little bit, so there we go, that's a little bit better. So these guys we're just gonna fill in here. Like, it doesn't have to be super thick. You can have a little bit of sky showing in there. That's fine. I mean, it's your doodle. So however you want it to take shape, then okay. So we'll work on these guys. And then we'll see where the other trees are sitting over here. I might have to finish these guys out entirely before we move on to the other ones. So we'll probably have at least one more week on this guy. Sorry I'm a little bit slow on completing stuff, but I'd rather take my time and get it to where I'm happy with it than have a rushed mess that I'm not happy with. What time is it even? Okay. This afternoon is flying by. Actually, this entire day has been flying by. I don't know what's going on. I didn't sleep that late, I didn't think. But then we had to take care of the piggies, spot clean them, refill their hay, and do piggy handle time. I wonder if that was my mom. Hey, see if my mom got up. I thought I heard the bathroom door shut. And I didn't hear your mom's door slam, so... We live with both moms. Or both mom... Well, we live with the one mom and the other mom. Like, my mom is staying here.
Nope, she's still asleep. My mom had to shut her door.
Oh, okay. Sometimes she gets up around this time to go to the bathroom, so I was like, oh, hey. We should let her know that my brother called. Okay, so we've got that grove of trees in there. Okay, those guys actually kind of continue. Back into here. So since we still have some more of those guys, I mean, they kind of come all the way back here. Some sections are a little bit more noticeable. Than others here. Some more. Oh, this would have been so much easier on a plate, like a real plate. Because then the water wouldn't be soaking in. And then in turn the paint wouldn't be soaking in, because it's a little bit has soaked in. There's like a slight coating on this plate, but not enough. Okay. Nope, that's still not. Okay, that's probably a little bit better. Okay. Get all of this worked into here. These guys are still going to be cozy back in here with all their friends. That is still kind of thick. I didn't need this to be all that thick here. And then I'll have a couple of larger guys coming in here in just a second. Now some of the bottoms of these guys we're not going to see so well. So we're going to have another round of trees. Different trees. Kind of sitting in front. And kind of, like, I can feel how thick it is and see how it's not coming off my brush the way I want it to, especially like down in here on the edge of the grass. I mean, I still had a little bit of room on that other palette, but we would have ran out of room real quick. Oh, flamingos. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Hope your day is going well. Thank you for popping in. And I hope you're having a good weekend. Saturday we do some painty things right now. Sundays we do needle felting. We're currently needle felting along with some Bob Ross tutorials. We are almost done. Following along with season 3. We've got 2 more to go from that season, plus we are finishing up one. We might be finishing one this weekend. You can kind of see them coming in. You guys can see it a little bit better on camera than I can, actually, which is kind of funny. Alright, so then we've got another guy here. Just making sure I'm not coming through the bottom of the plate. So we've got a bigger guy here. We're gonna have to mix some more of this brown here in just a minute. Alright. Get you guys settled into here. Ever so slowly. At least we're trying to. At least this plate I won't have to clean. I can just go ahead and toss this one when we're done. I promise I will get those plates cleaned. If not tonight, then this week. Eventually. So I have run out of container lids. Everybody's dirty. I mean, I could have just cleaned one now, but that would have taken a little bit of time. And then it would have been less time to work on this guy. Alright, so that one put in there. So how many of these do we have? We have like a cluster of 3 of these guys, kind of like right all there on top of each other. Oh, we're gonna have some sirens going by. We live on the main road through our town, so there's gonna be noise at times. Not much I can do about that. This house is not exactly soundproof. The walls are plaster in the room that we're in. So everything that could go against us sound-wise, right? And I don't really have the money to get those foam square thingies to try to dampen sound. If we ever move, we might look at those. But we'll see. So I'm just mixing some more color, or I'm trying to. Let's see how this is gonna treat us here. It feels like the right consistency. So then we've got like this guy. Here. So we try to get this one dabbled in here. And then we'll work on getting his other friend put in here. So I'm doing this shadowy color a bit extra watered down, just so we can get through it a little bit faster, and we're not going to see that much of him by the time we get everybody else in place, like all the other colors and stuff. So he doesn't have to be super perfect, but we need at least the idea of him there. and it makes it go a little bit faster if it's a little bit more watered down. I mean, you kind of get the idea of where they're getting laid in here. Alright, so we've got this guy's a little bit taller. He's definitely like right up there on this guy. These two are pretty close to one another. The other trees that are in front of these guys we'll have to do after we get, after we get these ones greened up and all situated. So like I said, we're going to be at least another week on this project, just judging by the time. Might potentially be 2. We'll have to see. Alright, so there's those 2, and I think we can squeak in one more. He's going to be a little bit of a shorter guy, though. So I do need to fix whatever the hell happened down here. Because I don't know what happened here. Something scraped that paint off there, and I don't know what it was. It doesn't seem to be, first I thought something just had gotten on it, but when I tried to rub my finger over it, nothing really came off. So I'm not really sure what that was all about. But we'll see. We should be able to get that guy, or that imperfection there, cleaned up. Just have to be careful with putting this away. Maybe that paint was still wet a little bit when I tucked him into his holding area. Possible. Okay. So now I guess we're going to give everybody else kind of a similar treatment, although, yeah, we'll make those front trees have a little bit more red and orange in them. We'll leave the pine trees their piney color, I suppose. Alright. So I'm going to go back to putting our pine trees back into here. little bit more color though. And I'm gonna need a fair bit of this because we have quite a few trees. I'll tell you, there's something oddly enchanting about listening to certain songs or certain artists having orchestra covers done of their songs. Like, you guys can't hear it, but I'm currently listening to an orchestra version of Thriller. It's kind of crazy. It like makes it feel like it's a whole different song, but yet still familiar. It's kind of wild. What is this? So now I'm listening to an orchestra version of When I Come Around. And it's kind of fun. It almost feels like you should be like frolicking through a meadow or like this, like watching a interlude scene in a movie, just like where they're doing everyday things, just like time filler. It's kind of cool. Give it a shot. Like, I'm usually not that big into orchestra music, but this is fun. Alright. Start to get in our other little trees here. This still doesn't feel quite where I want it to be. There we go. I was gonna say it was almost there, but it wasn't quite. What I wanted. So our forest will keep taking shape here. Slowly but surely. Get our next round of tree colors worked in here. So I'm gonna try to figure out like who's in front of who, or we just have to take our time and just put the trees in individually. Just gotta give them each the attention that they deserve to be individuals. kind of want to do the trees I want further back first here. I know it's going to be a little difficult to see with so much dark. But we will get these guys fixed up here. And I'm sorry we don't have episode 10's speed felt ready yet. Husband's trying to edit it for me, but
yeah, sorry, I'll try to get some notes on it.
we've also been kind of busy with life lately. Like, we still have a couple projects around the house that need to be dealt with that have been getting neglected for various reasons. I think I've got about 3.5 hours left to edit on the flamingo gouache painting. So, I am making progress on that. It's just been slow progress. I didn't even know you were in the room. I thought you were in the shower. You were being so quiet over there.
Well, you are streaming.
Huh?
You are streaming.
Okay. So, just kind of picking who I want to be a little bit further set back here. I'd kind of prefer to get at least this color with the black mixed in it finished up here today, if at all possible, just so I don't have to mix any more of it. Okay, so that's just gonna kind of look a bit darker now. As all of this gets worked in. And that's okay, because we'll get our other colors sorted here. I might just do all of the shadow, like this green, in here today, and not worry about who's in front and who's in back just yet, and maybe leave that to next week when we start laying in the other colors here. Just so I can get this color in. I mean, honestly, this color isn't going to make or break who's sitting in front. kind of situations, so that's not going to be that big of a deal. So tomorrow is Mother's Day for us here. Anybody doing anything tomorrow special? We're not gonna be. We're just making dinner, and then I think my mom wants ice cream. So we kind of got her partial Mother's Day gift last week. That got a little carried away there. Oops. Oops, the doodles. That's alright. That'll fill in just fine. You can see our grove getting darker. We'll turn out the lights. Stand of trees here. So this is, we did our like our brown black mixture, and now we're coming in with our dark hunter green and black mixture, just to kind of give a secondary darkness down in there. It worked out pretty well over here. Okay. So you can definitely see the treetops coming in to play. So that guy's around in there somewhere. Start to get this guy. Well, actually, yeah, we're just gonna put everybody back in their places with this darker black-green color. So we can not have to worry about remixing this. At least for right now. I mean, I might have to mix a little bit more to finish it up, but I really didn't want to have to use the shiny black, and I know I have another matte black. I just have to dig it out. The shiny black was just what I hit first, so I grabbed it. But if we can finish up with the matte black, that would make things quite a bit easier. So we'll get in this guy. I mean, you can kind of see him while it's wet. Kind of, it just looks dark. Doesn't really look like I'm doing all that much right there. Except for maybe making it slightly darker. That got a lot darker. And this guy, put into there. All right. Actually, it doesn't even look all that wet on the camera. I'm doing something, I promise. It's just like picking up just darkness in the big dark forest. Maybe because the lines are so thin. As long as we can just get the basic idea down in here. So you, okay, can kind of make out that trunk line, kind of. Like I said, these guys came together as we were putting in our other shades. So it's just kind of a trust the process sort of situation. Oh yeah, I'm starting to get a headache. Hopefully it will be gone by tomorrow. We've had bad Sunday, Monday luck lately. Between headaches and errands, and I do apologize. We've missed a lot of Sunday, Monday recently. But if migraine boss says no, migraine boss says no. lately I had a good stretch where I wasn't having too many issues with that, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, it's great. It has been a while since I've had too many like crippling migraines, and I think I jinxed it. So now it's been tough sledding. I'll take something when we're done here, and hopefully that will help manage it to be not quite so terrible later. And we'll cross our fingers and we'll see what happens. Alright. Got 2 more dark trees to finish putting in here. I mean, they definitely look darker. So we got that going for us, at the very least. Alright. Husband fell asleep, so if you hear snoring in the background, that's what that's gonna be. It happens sometimes. You've been sleeping for shit lately. This morning, one of the cats woke me up at 3:45. I think I had fallen asleep around 1. I was like, dear God, what now? Then I had to pee. And then I had to blow my nose. And then I couldn't breathe again for a while. Started to fall back asleep, and then Zuzu woke me up. He wanted to get in bed with us, so I let him get in. He was there like 15 minutes, and then he left and got in one of the dog beds. Probably because I wasn't scratching him. I'm like, look you, I'm trying to sleep. And then I woke up again, and I don't remember what time it was. And I got woken up again. I woke up to Momo. The next time I woke up, Momo was in bed with us, which surprised me. I'm like, when did he get in bed? Russell's like, just now. He like whined at the husband. I was like, what? I was like, that sounded awfully close. Turned out it was. Alright, let me see here. I still have some green paint here. So we are probably gonna hit up some of these because we don't have to mix this color, right? So just need to water it down. And it seems a shame to waste it when we just kind of put it out, so let's see what we can do. Okay. So the further back trees. I know I'd done these as further back, but I think I want you as a slightly further back tree. Now we're gonna start picking our trees. Like the dark shadow didn't matter quite so much who got it first. But now that we're starting to bring in our lighter colors, I do want to start doing these guys in layers now. Or at least trying to. It's still a little bit watered down, but not as much. We can have you be really far back tree. We'll get you popped into here. So probably still won't be able to see, well, you can see that color coming in a little bit. I don't know if it'll just still be all that visible as it's drying. But you never know. Might be. Well, I have a feeling they're gonna fade into the background a little bit. So get this guy worked in back here. I'm not gonna worry about any tree branches to the rights or lefts of these guys right now. I just wanna get their individual shapes in place. So, because these other trees next to them, they're going to end up overlapping, so that's fine. But it's easier to do each tree as we come up on it. Like, okay, so you're in the back, you're in the back, you're in the back. And then, you know, work our way forward. We'll do one more in the background tree here. Oh, that's kind of showing up on camera. Showing up better for you guys. Oddly enough. Than it is for me. Now some of these in the inspiration photo in this section are a little bit more fallified, a little bit more orangey and brown. Either we're just coming into spring or we're just about to get ready for winter. So, I'm not sure who to put forward or who to put back here. So we'll probably have to do a third layer in that grove of trees. Let's see, what time is it? This will probably be the last one we have time to work in here today. Yeah, I mean, you can see them starting to pop out and become a bit more individualized. Okay. Let's see. This guy. I want to sit a little bit further back. I really want to get this layer of trees in. we call it a day, at least this color on them. Since I already have it to the consistency that I am looking for. So right now I'm just doing the further back trees. We're gonna get a little bit more color on these guys. For sure. I'm just trying to get our next range of shading in here. And we're gonna have to come back in with this color again on the next layer of trees. I just kind of wanted to get this particular layer, since we started on the screen, wrapped up. Probably got a little carried away there. I did press down a little bit harder than I had necessarily planned on. Okay. And let's see. This guy isn't necessarily a background tree, but he's kind of separated out enough from everybody else that I think I feel okay. Doing his green. And we'll get this guy put in here. So he's kind of, oops, sorry, loud traffic. It was a motorcycle. Sorry. He's kind of alone here, so let's kind of get him worked in here. So after we get our pine trees done, we've got another few trees that are sitting in front of these guys. Oh, in the wrong spot. And then we have our water to finish up. And then we'll finally be good on this guy. But we'll see how this is gonna go. Alright. So you can kind of see where the other trees are sitting with that darker green drying on them. And that section there that looks like a bit of white paint is actually just wet paint. The way the light is reflecting off of it. So that's gonna do it for today, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I do appreciate it. I appreciate the couple new follows. I hope everyone has a good day. We'll be back tomorrow with needle felting, migraine permitting. We'll see how I'm feeling. Don't forget to follow the socially links down below. We've got links to the Ko-fi, the Twitter, the Instagram, and the YouTube pages. And the YouTube page is the same name as here. We have mostly the archived live streams in case you missed something or wanted to rewatch it. Or you can occasionally find something that we didn't live stream over there. Occasionally. So we will go from here. And everybody have a good evening. I hope to see you tomorrow for needle felting if I'm up to it. And until next time, you guys, have a good one.